If I handed you 300 a month for 30 years, what would you end up with? Most people grab a calculator, multiply 300 by 12 months, then by 30 years, and guess around 108,000. They are dead wrong. The real answer is closer to 678,000. That 570,000 gap is what the 1% understand and the 99% completely ignore. Today, I am exposing the real numbers behind compounding and how to fund it using digital leverage. If you want to stop trading your hours for pennies, you need to see this. In this video, I'll break everything down without the fluff. I'll show you the exact year-by-year mathematical reality of passive wealth generation. How to use the rule of 72 to double your money without lifting a finger. How to build an automated digital asset to fund this engine from scratch. No financial degree required. No risky day trading. Just pure mathematical leverage and execution. Let's get into the first core concept. Most people think getting wealthy requires picking the perfect stock or timing the market perfectly. It doesn't. The ultimate wealth-building variable is frictionless time. I realized compounding is what time does to money when software leaves it alone. The first 5 years feel incredibly slow, like pushing a heavy snowball. I stopped panicking when my initial returns looked tiny and adopted a decades-long horizon. I accepted that I needed to fund this engine aggressively, so I stopped relying on a boss and started generating my own seed capital. Step 1. Set a strict, automated monthly contribution. I started with a non-negotiable 300 a month. Step 2. Automate the transfer. Set up a direct debit so the 300 leaves your account the exact day you get paid. You leverage software to remove your own emotional self-sabotage. Step 3. Deploy the capital into a broad, low-cost index fund, historically averaging a 10% return. Do not pick single stocks. Human psychology is terrible at grasping exponential growth. We think linearly. In year 1, your 3,600 contribution only yields about 170 in interest. It feels pointless. But the math doesn't care about your feelings. By year 15, compounding is generating more cash than your actual contributions. You are leveraging the entire global economy to do the heavy lifting while you sleep. By year 30, a simple 300 monthly automated investment grows to approximately 678,000. That is 570,000 of pure passive profit that you never worked a single hour to earn. I had 2 colleagues. One started investing 300 a month at age 25. The other waited until he was 35 to do the exact same thing. By the time they both hit 55, the one who started at 25 had a portfolio worth nearly 678,000. The one who waited? Around 228,000. A simple 10-year delay cost him exactly 450,000. You can recover lost money, but you can never buy back lost compounding time. But simply understanding the timeline isn't enough. You need to know the exact mathematical tipping point where your money starts working harder than you do. Compounding doesn't deliver its massive rewards at the beginning, it backloads them entirely. You need a mental model to track this velocity. I stopped looking at my portfolio's daily fluctuations and started applying the rule of 72. This is a mental framework that tells you exactly how many years it takes for your capital to double based on your return rate. I realized that every time my money doubled, it doubled on the new massive amount, not the original seed. I shifted my focus to acquiring digital assets that could feed this compounding machine faster. Step 1. Take the number 72 and divide it by your expected annual return. At a 10% return, 72 divided by 10 equals roughly 7 years to double your money. Step 2. Track the acceleration. Your first 50,000 becomes 100,000 in 7 years. In another 7 years, it's 200,000, then 400,000. Step 3. Recognize that debt compounds against you exactly the same way. Immediately liquidate any 24% credit card debt, because that debt is doubling every 3 years and destroying your net worth. The rule of 72 gamifies the process. It proves that the growth in the final 5 years of a 30-year window is literally 56 times greater than the growth in the first 5 years. You are exploiting the mathematical reality of exponential acceleration. Your capital becomes an autonomous army, multiplying itself without any further input. By utilizing the rule of 72, you can accurately forecast your path to a 1,000,000 portfolio, completely detaching your future wealth from your current hourly wage. You know the math, and you know the timeline. But where do you actually get the surplus capital to aggressively fund this machine if your salary is completely tapped out? You cannot save your way to massive wealth if your income is restricted by a traditional salary. You need a synthetic cash generator. I refused to work 80 hours a week just to invest more. I wanted leverage. I built automated digital businesses to generate the surplus cash flow specifically to feed my compounding engine. For instance, I set up a high-margin e-commerce brand called Zapstore. Instead of manually packing boxes, I used software to automate the fulfillment and AI to run the ad campaigns. The goal wasn't just to run a store, the goal was to extract automated profit and inject it directly into the stock market. Step 1. Identify a high-leverage digital vehicle. Launch a highly targeted e-commerce brand like Zapstore or an automated faceless YouTube channel like Stickverse. Step 2. Utilize no-code software and AI prompt engineering to remove yourself from the daily operations. Build the digital infrastructure once. Step 3. Take 100% of the passive profits generated by these digital assets and automatically route them into your low-cost index funds. You are combining two extreme forms of leverage. First, you use digital leverage and the internet to decouple your active income from your time. Second, you use financial leverage to multiply that decoupled income exponentially. You are building a machine that feeds another machine. By funneling an extra $1,000 a month in passive profits from Zapstore into my compounding engine, I accelerated my timeline to financial independence by over 15 years. When I first started investing, I picked up freelance shifts, burning out for an extra $200. Then, I launched my digital agency, Blue Peak Digital. I automated lead generation using software. Suddenly, I wasn't trading evenings for pennies. The software generated 1,500 retainers while I slept. I poured that digital cash straight into the compounding vault. Automation creates the cash, time creates the wealth. But even if you have the digital assets and the compounding engine, there are 3 silent killers waiting to destroy your portfolio if you don't build a fortress. Compounding works powerfully in your favor. But fees, inflation, and taxes will silently consume your fortune if you remain ignorant. I realized that a seemingly harmless 1% management fee was actually financial sabotage. I stopped trusting expensive wealth advisors who were skimming my profits. I also woke up to the reality that my money was losing purchasing power every single year to inflation. I shifted to a purely defensive mindset regarding friction. I aggressively optimized exactly where my money was stored. Step 1. Eliminate fee friction. Move your capital away from actively managed funds charging 1% or 2% and use passive index funds that charge 0.1% or less. Step 2. Outpace inflation. Ensure your capital is strictly in high-velocity equities like the S&P 500 rather than rotting in a UK savings account paying less than the inflation rate. Step 3. Utilize tax wrappers. In the UK, you must execute this strategy inside a stocks and shares ISA. This legally shields 100% of your compounding gains from Merck. Over 30 years, a 1% fee difference can reduce your final balance by up to 25%. Taxes can take another massive cut. By eliminating these friction points using software and legal government tax shelters, you retain total control of the compounding velocity. By eliminating a 1% fee and utilizing an ISA, you successfully preserve over 150,000 of your own wealth that would have otherwise been silently drained away by institutions. Building wealth is an architectural process. If you spend your life trading finite hours for pounds, you will inevitably hit a wall of severe burnout. The old script tells you to work hard and hope for the best. The new reality demands you build digital assets to generate cash and use automated engines to multiply it. You build the Zap Store or the Stickverse channel once, you automate the investment once, and then you step back. Time and software become your ultimate employees, working 24/7 without a salary. The math is absolute. The gap between the 99% and the 1% isn't intelligence, it is execution and patience. The years ahead of you are the most powerful financial asset you will ever own. You can either let time pass while you remain trapped in the cycle, or you can leverage it to buy your permanent freedom. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Execute now. Start funding your compounding engine today. If this blueprint shattered your old way of thinking, hit the subscribe button to join the community. Execute the strategy, and I'll see you in the next one.